Is there anybody else that comes to mind who was not easy on the job as the enhancement guys?
Well, there used to be a guy named Lars Anderson who he was rough on the enhancement guys. Now, when I first started, I was in Florida and I had a match with him, and I saw right before Lars and I went out that all the guys came into the room. We only had one TV, a little one too. This was years ago. So they all crowded into the room too, and I'm thinking, why is everybody coming in here for this? So I went out there, and Lars, he fancied himself as an amateur wrestler, and I never did because I'm a pro. So, and he just beat me up, tried to. He tied me up and he took his elbow and he just shot it, kept shooting it down beside my eye. And I told him, I said, Lars, lighten up. And he did it again. I said, Lars, lighten up. And he went, shit, he wouldn't answer me. I remember it pissed me off, and I know one roll in wrestling. It was called the Canby roll. And he didn't expect it. I didn't either. I rode forward and double leg took him down, and it surprised him. The dressing room popped, and I told him, I said, you better get your finish now, Lars, or you're not getting it. And so then he did it. So then I went back in the dressing room. He was sitting there, and I walked into him. I stood right over him. I said, all right, you son of a bitch. Now, if you want to go, let's go right now. I said, get up. And I was getting ready to drill him. And I do remember that Jerry Briscoe walked into the room and he cussed Lars out. He said, Lars, these guys come in here and they put you over and you go out there and you try to hurt them. He said, I don't blame you. He said, if you want to try somebody, try me right now. So Lars got a lot of heat on him that day, and I never really talked to him after that. So I just stayed away from him.
Don Morocco told me about Lars Anderson that originally he thought he was a great wrestler, but then later on in his career, he started trying to copy Johnny Valentine and carry himself, with the long grinding submissions and stuff like that, and he just entirely changed his outlook and his performance because he just wanted to be Johnny Valentine, the second coming of.
Well, there was only one Johnny Valentine. You ever watched him?
Maybe some old footage once or twice. That's it.
Oh, I mean, a short match for him would be 30 minutes, but he would grind it out and grind it out and grind it out. At the end, if the guy was just doing this, like he was going to get up, that was a high spot. And they haven't seen anything up to this point. And I remember some of the matches that Valentine had with Wahoo McDaniel, and I'm going back to the 70s, 80s. Man, they would give each other the chops, and you could hear it all over the building. And the people, they enjoyed that because they truly thought that these guys, and that's why Valentine could get by with it, because he thought it was a legitimate contest. The whole match, all the other cards, the matches could be said, well, they're just for entertainment, or they're all set up. But Valentine and Wahoo, they're really fighting, which helped them. But getting back to Lars had a mental problem too. He was about half nuts. If you ever talk to him, you go, what? I made a few trips with him before this little incident happened. It was in Orlando. Before that little incident happened, and he would just talk you out. And finally you say, God, what? And I made 2 trips with him. I said, I can't take this guy no more. I started actually driving myself. I'd go by myself before I'd go to Lars.